Aliaka Wanjala.
I, Richard Satya Wanjala.
I, Charles Ochieng.
I, Derek Omondi Sita.
I, Eltirosa Cheng Wasonga. I, Jairus Sylvia Winja.
I, Linda Atuo.
I, Korea Chelanga.
I, Anamo Franklin Kobiamu.
I, Laban Kituma.
I, Latin Kalpet.
Over 2 weeks, we followed closely the 2026 Eldoret National Polytechnic student selections, an election that was termed by many as low turnout exercise. But why did fewer students turn up, and what shaped the mood in campus, and what vision do the elected leaders carry into office? After they were sworn in, we met them at the campus stage where they opened up about leadership expectations and the road ahead. My name is Sharif Ngala. Tonight, Kenya Coastal News in collaboration with State News TV Kenya, Triple K TV presents to you the Eldoret National Polytechnic Student Selections 2026. On the evening of 22nd January 2026, the city of Eldoret was live with energy. The usually busy streets carried a different kind of movement. Eldoret National Polytechnic trainees, animated and purposeful, exercising their democratic right through spirited campaigns ahead of the student elections. 2026 student selections of the Eldoret National Polytechnic were not one-day affair. They were a journey, one that unfolded over nearly 2 weeks, shaped by constitutional demands, administrative decisions, low turnout, and a renewed debate on the student representation. From the onset, it was clear that this electoral process would test not only the candidates, but also the very systems governing student democracy. On the 16th of January 2025 at exactly 11:35 a.m. Right here at the Eldoret National Polytechnic, where the preparations for the coming elections are right here. This is the committee that is ready to do the vetting process. This is the final touches of the vetting process led by Mr. Suge. And right here we are expecting the aspirants to make their way in a field, and also the returning officers. The vetting of aspirants, overseen by Electoral Committee, led by Chairperson Edward Kiprop and Secretary General Geoffrey Odhiambo, vetting was guided by strict requirements.
Therefore, not valid yet to bring this statement reflecting latest payments,
including fee clearance, academic eligibility, adherence to the student constitution, and availability of the remaining academic terms.
Admitted in the second half of but you never registered for March 2024.
No, I've been doing my NET exams in July.
As aspirants appeared before the panel, cracks quickly began to show. Several students were locked out, not for lack of ambition or leadership potential, but because they failed to meet constitutional and academic thresholds. Very early in the process, it became evident that participation would be limited. Key leadership dockets began to suffer. The positions of education and persons with disabilities went uncontested, raising serious questions about competitiveness and inclusivity. More concerning still was the presidential race, where the presidential candidate presented a vice presidential running mate who did not meet the constitutional requirements. The ticket, though popular, was incomplete.
They will give the president up to tomorrow noon to have come up with another vice presented to the panel. Then the panel will failure to which the position will be re-advertised.
So meaning that the president is qualified?
Yes. So he only, the president only looks for,
it's pending clearance, not
it's pending clearance because of the deputy. So until he presents the deputy by tomorrow noon.
Faced with these realities, the matter escalated to the dean's office, which in this election served as the returning officer. After consultations and review of the constitutional implications, a decisive call was made. The elections were postponed. The postponement was not for convenience nor indecision, but a deliberate administrative intervention aimed at protecting the integrity of the process. It was meant to give room for more aspirants to meet eligibility requirements, to encourage competition in uncontested seats.
The elections were postponed, and now we expect that they were given enough time. So I think they up to now they are selling their votes, manifestos, and maybe giving out it all. They are also given they will also be given time to campaigns in public. Up to now they are given internal campaigns. So I think because the elections were postponed to 2 days prior, so they'll have enough time for their manifestos and to give it all.
And to ensure that the eventual leadership will be constitutionally sound. The decision extended the electoral process, pushing 2 days more united debate across campuses. Would more time lead to wider participation, or had a constitutional framework already narrowed the field too much?
Thanks the entire institution for giving us a chance, but also we've been able to practice our own democracy. But again, we have so many unopposed seats in this election. This to mean that the constitution has to be enacted so that each and every student's voice to be heard in terms of leadership. Why should you clear a fee in an year that you've not even learned? It's very bad that you have to clear a fee for you to vie.
Maoni yangu kwa hii election ya saizi tukikompare na ya last year ilikuwa more cheerful na more giving, ile vibe ya tutaenda kupiga na inaleta ile nini ya competition. So saa hii kumenyamaza tu hivi until wakuwe na mtu, kuna siasa, kuna elections fulani. So chenye naweza sema ni hii ya saizi imepunguzwa kiasi ama sijui nini inaendelea.
It was a question lingered as campaigns resumed and the institution prepared once again for the polls. On Friday, 23rd January 2026, voting day finally arrived as polling stations opened across the institution.
Thank you for the opportunity. Today, the 23rd of January 2026.
We spoke to the chief principal, who called on trainees to turn out in large numbers and exercise their democratic right.
This is an opportunity for the trainees to elect their representatives, the council that will represent them for the next 1 year, that is 3 terms, and we have witnessed the process of nominations, vetting, and today is a D-Day when the trainees go to the ballot to elect their representatives. As the administration, our role is to support and facilitate this exercise through the Office of the Dean of Students. The exercise is actually being shepherded by IEBC, KSE's office, and it is being managed by a student electoral body that was constituted as per the constitution of the student body. The process, we believe, will be fair to all the candidates, and we expect them to turn out and elect their representatives so that they give them the mandate to represent them in their issues.
Throughout the day, students who had already casted their ballots echoed the same message, urging their colleagues to come out and vote.
Nimekam kuvote na process imekuwa poa. Wenye wako nyumbani wakama vote.
And I'm here to vote, and I believe that for those who have voted for them, they must win. And wenye wajafika wakuje wote to vote, tujue our leaders, and our leaders, they have to do what their capacities. Tunawategemea, sawa situangushe.
Despite the peaceful atmosphere and orderly process overseen by election officials, queues remained short, a quiet but visible reminder of the low turnout that had marked the entire electoral journey.
We have received results for persons with disability.
Stray ballots is 3. Valid votes cast in favor of Daily Omondi Sita and Charles Ochen Wanjala is 60. Cabinet Secretary Health and Environment, where we have Wiki Akot and Beni Naliaka Wanjala.
By 2:45 p.m., results began streaming into the tallying center from the various polling stations. The atmosphere shifted from anticipation to attention as counting progressed. The returning officer Ruben Chemitei announced the results as were being tallied.
For the female representative position, where we have Linda Atuo, total number of ballots issued is 116. Spoiled the ballots is 0, rejected is 23, straight ballots is 3, total number of valid votes.
Releasing them progressively in an open and transparent process as each result was declared, it marked the official close of a long and demanding electoral journey, paving the way for acceptance, reflection and transition into a new chapter of student leadership at the Eldoret National Polytechnic. January 2026, just 2 days after the elections at the Eldoret National Polytechnic, yes, the HIN department, hospitality department, where the church is located. It's on Sunday, and the newly elected Tenetsu leaders are expected to be here just to give their hand back and to say thank you for the support that the students gave to them last week. Also, Habiba Mohammed from the Muslim community is also expected to get here in a few. And so, with the elections concluded, we positioned our cameras ready to capture the next chapter of democratic journey. 11 a.m. East African time, elected student leaders began arriving in the church. Not all of them were present. The topmost pair, the president and the vice president, were absent, just as City Campus Governor Derek Sita and his deputy Charles Wanjala did not make it to the gathering. Gender representative Linda Atuo was also missing from the church service, a situation that, as we later established, was due to reasons beyond their control. Inside the church, the atmosphere shifted from politics to reflection. There was a shared understanding among those present that winning the elections had not been purely by strategy or numbers, but by God's grace. And so they worshiped. Among them was Habiba Muhammad. The territory seemed unfamiliar, her expressions cautious, yet one thing was unmistakable from her face: she had come to worship.
They see that we are not doing according to the standards, we are not doing according to how they think, but today the Lord is calling us that we.
As the sermon progressed, our cameras caught a quiet but powerful moment. Cabinet Secretary for Education Elsie Rose Acchieng sat with her head buried deep in the scriptures, reflective and composed, already bearing the weight of responsibility that awaited her.
Hello everyone, my name is and I want to thank the administration.
After the service, voices began to emerge. Hesbon Odhiambo, fondly known as the chief blogger, he praised the administration and electoral committee for the tranquility and calm maintained throughout the election period. His message to the new leaders was firm: remain committed to the cause, lead with integrity, and serve everyone squarely and equally without favorism.
And I'm here to urge all the leaders that have been elected that you serve the people of you serve the comrade, because they trusted you and they voted for you. So please pay back as a way in that their wishes, so that you also cater for them. All the leaders who vie the aspirant, in case you lost, you are strong, don't give up, and you're part of the winning team. Ensure that you partner with the leaders who have won, and you serve the people of the Eldoret, so that we can have a better institution in this region.
Though absent, President Lavin Betty and Vice President Laban Kipchum were represented by Frederick W. Kuswa. Speaking on their behalf, he conveyed gratitude for the trust bestowed upon them and assured students that no one would be left out of the administration. A commitment Lavin later reaffirmed in his speech after taking the oath to lead nearly 19,000 trainees.
Wamesema nikuje niwaambie wanashukuru kwa the support, wanawashukuru sana kwa kuwa-elect kama the school president and the school vice president. Wamesema niwahakikishie kwamba wataweza kufanya kazi na nyinyi pamoja na the elected CS to make sure that kila kitu ina run smooth. Zile changamoto ambazo zimekuwa hizo miaka za nyuma wataweza kukabiliana nazo.
To my fellow elected student leaders, congratulations. Leadership is not about position, power or title. It is about service. As we will take office today, let us remember that we are servants of the students, guardians of unity, and ambassadors of discipline and progress. Fellow students, I assure you that my leadership will be inclusive, consultative, and accountable. I will work closely with the administration to address student concern, promote academic excellence, uphold discipline, and foster a peaceful learning environment.
When the leaders later gathered at the campus bench, visions began to unfold. Secretary General Franklin Andago spoke candidly. His vision, he said, went beyond what comrades might be expecting. Among his priorities was ensuring that gate entry into the institution is smooth and accessible, a simple but impactful promise aimed at restoring dignity and order to daily student life.
You can find a student, you are rushing to class maybe at 7 in the morning, somehow umesahau ID kwa nyumba, and then unafika kwa gate, you are being sent back again to go back for your ID. Unapata hiyo inaleta tatizo sana. Kurudi kwa nyumba, kurudi utapata the class is over. So I think I always see one computer at the gate. I'll mobilize with the admin, because the computer should be functioning, so that if you are in session, if it's our ID, then you can keep in your admission number, so that we confirm kama uko kwa system, and then you are allowed to get into the class.
His journey to office had not been easy. At one point, he faced competition from Victor Odhiambo. After consultations and mutual understanding, Victor stepped down. When we interacted, he confirmed this, describing it as a moment of unity over rivalry.
Before we actually went for the vetting, I was still having some areas in the institution, few areas. Yes. which I was really optimistic to clear, but unfortunately where I was to get that money, everything didn't went right. So we talked with Franklin such that he can divert his attention and vie for the Secretary General, since they were vying for the same top seat at town campus, 2 people. Yes. And from one house, you can just get that picture. Yes. So we talked with him such that he can divert his attention, vie for the seat of Secretary General, such that we cannot lose it. And Derek Sita to remain at town campus. Yeah, so that was the main reason why.
With trainees gifted across different arenas, leadership in sports, entertainment and cultural affairs became critical. Richard Satya, campaigning to revive and push forward Africa's pride, emerged victorious against Bet Kiprotich, earning the position of Cabinet Secretary for Sports, Entertainment and Cultural Affairs. Richard expressed readiness for the task. During our interaction, it was evident that he truly resonated with his docket.
Sife moyo Joe, bado mola anakupenda bro. Let's go, sife moyo Joe.
Perhaps a lucky alignment for the comrades, he emphasized that entertainment will take a national outlook.
Pale kwa burudani ndugu, ndipo wanafunzi wengi wanamtazamo. Na pale wanatarajia makuu. Na wakati nilikuwa nauza sera zangu kwa wanafunzi, nilikuwa nawahakikishia kwamba watarajie burudani iliyo ya juu. Ukitazamia na mwaka uliopita ama uongozi uliokuwepo katika ofisi hii, kulikuwa na mshike kidogo. Na hilo ndilo jambo ambalo limenileta kwenye ofisi. Ili kwamba tuweze kupata wale wasanii wenye hulka ya kitaifa. Ikumbuke kwamba shule hii ni shule ya kitaifa. Itakuwa vibaya sana hapo tutaweza kuleta wanasanii ambao ni wa kabila moja na kuweza kuacha wanafunzi wengine. Sasa mimi ningependa kuhakikisha wanafunzi wote ya kwamba msanii atakayekuja hapa atakuwa msanii wa kitaifa. Naam. Na pia nitaweza kupatia wanafunzi wa shule hii nafasi ili wakaweze kukuza talanta yao.
Ensuring that the institution's talents grow beyond campus boundaries.
I, Eldoret having been duly elected as Cabinet Secretary of Education, solemnly do swear and affirm that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Eldoret National Polytechnic trainees and the entire college, that we will obey, respect, uphold and preserve, protect and defend the Constitution of the Eldoret National Polytechnic Trainees Union, and that I will faithfully and conscientiously discharge the duties of a Cabinet Secretary of Education. So help me God.
At the heart of academic affairs stood Elciro Sacheng, now entrusted with the education docket. Earlier in the process, she had dropped her bid for deputy president after constitutional scrutiny revealed she had only 2 remaining terms, while the constitution required 3. Redirecting her focus, she campaigned, won and was sworn in. Her main concern remains unresolved missing marks, particularly affecting TVET SIDAC students, an issue she promised to prioritize and resolve.
First of all, missing marks is caused by either you have a missing cut or you did not do the paper. So one of the ways that I am going to eradicate missing marks, or at least reduce it, is because part of the academic council is the class representatives. It is the duty of the class representatives to make sure that the teachers have keyed in the cut marks and that no cut marks of any student is missing. So first of all, as I said, I want to promote transparency and accountability. So with the help of the class reps, we're going to make sure that the lecturers key in the marks.
And defend the Constitution of the Eldoret National Polytechnic Trainees Union, and that I will faithfully and conscientiously discharge the duties of a Cabinet Secretary Finance. So help me God.
In finance, Claire Sawinja stood firm. During debates at the Square's grounds, she urged comrades to vote wisely so leaders could work together. Her manifesto was centered on a student-focused budget designed to respond directly to trainees' needs while working closely with the TENEPSU to ensure smooth operations.
Before that, the treasurer was a Western Student Association. I served them well. There was accountability, transparency, and they saw potential in me. The biggest supporters who empowered me to go for that seat.
And based on my work there, I saw I can go for finance for the Eldoret National.
Her gratitude to the Eldoret National Polytechnic students were later acknowledged publicly by Dominic Barasa, who recognized her commitment alongside her colleagues.
And that I will faithfully and conscientiously discharge the duties of a Cabinet Secretary, Health and Environment. So help me God.
For Berlin Naliaka, the journey was marked by resilience. During vetting, she faced setbacks due to school fees challenges, but was eventually cleared together with her friend and proceeded to campaign. She later shared that many people had looked down upon her, yet she never gave up. She campaigned quietly and steadily.
Actually, so many people underrated me. Some even came to my inbox and sent voice notes that mimi ni mtoto mdogo, nimejiwekea kitu yenye siwezi na hata sitaweza kuongea mbele ya watu kwa debate. And I just told them it's okay, haina shida, you will just see it by yourself nikiongea and you will not believe it.
Discharge the duties of the accommodation and catering. So help me God.
In the accommodation and catering race, Habiba Mohammed emerged victorious and was sworn in. Her opponent Barnabas Mako, in an interview, he stated that he bore no envy and maintained that their friendship remained intact.
And not once, not twice, or thrice. It has happened in our country, Kenya. We have seen the great leader, the late Mr. Raila Amolo Odinga. He made handshakes. So after elections, life needs to continue. We need to go back and work together. I had my own agendas about catering and accommodation. And now that it has happened that I'm not the one who got the position, I must work with the winner and share my agendas with her so that we can take the Eldoret National Polytechnic to another level. You know, I was in between loyalty. During that time, there was now this association team, then there was this bloggers team. Then you are in between. You need to choose one place. Bloggers will market you, but association will stand with you, your house. So you are in between making a right decision, and it was a very tough decision. But I had to stand with the house. And now, even after all these things have happened, I feel I have people around me. So I think I made the right decision.
He expressed gratitude for the continued support of the Western Students Association WESA, which he had never abandoned. Barnabas now serves as the nominated minority representative. When we later spoke to Habiba after her swearing in, she affirmed that she held no grudges against Makoha. Her priority, she said, was clear: eradicating bedbugs, a persistent issue she vowed to confront during the tenure.
Because that thing is not good for your head. And all I want to say is that I will make sure that every time they will fumigate professionally so that they attend with the cleanness. Because that thing goes with, if there's a that goes with like this. You can't leave the dead. You can't leave this if there's a cleanness, they should know we need treatment. You see? So I want to make sure that the hostel should be clean. They should be
And then there was Linda Atuo. During the campaigns in the City of Champions, she was alert, energetic, and constantly engaging trainees. Seen dancing to whistle in hand, Linda adopted campaign spirit.
So help me God.
Now elected as women representative, she says she feels a deep responsibility to the voice of ladies, to champion gender representation, and to push for quality mental health support among students, a mission she says defines her leadership.
I felt like I should be a voice for ladies. I wanted the ladies' voice to be heard. By saying ladies, but I wanted to be a voice for ladies.
I will faithfully and conscientiously
discharge the duties of a governor of city campus. So help me God.
Sworn in as city campus governor, Derek Sita is now entrusted with the responsibility of giving direction and leadership to students at the city campus. And when we spoke to him, he maintained that all the promises he made during the campaign remained valid. He emphasized that his priority will be ensuring the voices of city campus students are heard and represented at all levels of leadership. Derek expressed strong belief in collective leadership, noting that progress will be only achieved if elected leaders work together. In his words, unity among the elected leaders is not an option but a necessity, and with teamwork he believes everything is possible.
It depends on the individual conduct and the effort. Like when we are getting to these positions, everyone has his own agendas. But after you get into that position, you backslide or you don't make full effort to those grievances or the agendas to be in place. I just want to say that with the elected leaders that were elected was sworn in today and made an oath to serve the comrades. Let's work tirelessly and also work to fulfill what we promised comrades. At least when I bring this, when a soldier or a hunter gets out of his home or where he lives, he always has a mission and he will not wish to come back or get back when the mission is unaccomplished. So let's try our best, let's cooperate and make sure that we deliver something that when your time is out, at least you'll leave us a leader. That once this was a leader, and these are the things that help us.
The 2026 Eldoret National Polytechnic students' elections were not defined by long queues or loud celebrations, but by the lessons they left behind. They exposed the weight of constitutional rules, the reality of law participation, and the responsibility that comes with leadership. From vetting to postponement, from the ballot to the oath, the process reminded the institution that democracy is not just about winning seats, but about building trust, inclusion, and service. As the new leaders take office, the journey now shifts from promises to action, because the future rests not in words spoken during campaigns but in decisions made after cameras are gone.